Hey guys, I wanted to record a video to show you how to develop the jump through of Ashtanga yoga or power yoga. Now, I started doing power yoga, Brian Kest power yoga in the 90s when I was in my mid-20s. I'm now just about in my mid-50s. And so for 30 years, I have done these routines not being able to do the jump through. I was sure, since I'm very flexible, that it was a problem of just having too short of arms. My wife says my legs are much longer than my arms. Whenever I buy a sport coat, I always buy like a 36S, the S for short. Otherwise, the cuffs come down to like right here, and just my tips of my fingers stick out. So I was sure that for me, it wasn't a problem of musculature, it wasn't a problem of flexibility. It was just that physiologically, I was genetically unable to do the jump through. And then once I got brave enough to actually try it and came up with my own method to learn it, I got it in like 2 weeks. And I could have gotten it in 2 days. I did have to develop a little bit more muscle. And so I could only practice it like 3 or 4 times per day before I knew I sort of had to stop for the day. So what is my system for doing it? I started with these. These yoga blocks were like $10 for both of them on Amazon in 2024. I think they're $14 now. But I thought, just to prove it to myself, why not get some yoga blocks and prove that what I'm missing is just these extra few inches. And so I bought them, and I sat and looked at them for 11 months until about 3 weeks ago when I decided, hey, let me give this a try and finally see. I was also kind of nervous because one time walking the dog, wearing big Hoka shoes, the dog pulled. This is the Hoka shoe. The dog pulled because it saw a cat. My foot rolled, fractured my foot, and I was sort of afraid I might do something like that with these yoga blocks. Let me show you what I mean. So first of all, placing them on the long end like this, I thought, well, this is giving me like an extra 6 inches. This will allow me to prove to myself that it's just a matter of like physically my arms are not long enough. Otherwise, I would be able to do it. And so, again, this has made me really nervous. I was sure one of these was going to go like that and I was going to break a wrist. But made sure they're solid and lined up. And, pretty much first try, I was able to jump through with no problems. And a good thing that I was on carpet that time, because if I had not been, I landed really hard. So a word to the wise. So I did that a few times, and then I thought, okay, what's the next step? Is to go from the 6 inches to the 3 inches. And so after a couple days, I said, well, this felt a lot better. At least this way I know I'm not going to break my wrist. And again, placing them about, midway on the yoga mat. Sure enough, I could do it. Now at this point, I started getting excited. My family was referring to this as my midlife crisis, although they said at least I bought just yoga blocks and not a sports car. I was looking around in order to see, well, what can I do now? Do I get a skill saw? Can I like cut these maybe in thirds so I can pull off layers and gradually see how low down I can go? And then I saw that because of some construction projects, we had like some old pieces of wood. I guess these are 2x4s, and if that's 3 inches, this must be 2 inches. Maybe 1.5 inches. I'm not sure. But the next step was to try it, replacing the yoga blocks with these wooden blocks. Now moving them closer, because if you get them too far apart, you're losing some of your height because your arms are like this. So you get them somewhat close. You don't want to hit them with your feet. And about halfway down the yoga mat, was I going to be able to do it? Of course. Well, of course, now I know I can. At the time, I was very surprised that I made it through. And, again, it's like I could do it 3 or 4 times. And then how, like in baseball, how you can throw out your arm. And you need more than just like 30 seconds of rest. You got to quit for a few hours in order to get things feeling back to normal again. This is the whole reason this took me 2 weeks to get instead of 2 days. But I'm looking at this and thinking, well, now I need something shorter. So I looked around the scrap wood, and I found some pieces of some plywood. I guess this is probably a quarter inch or 1/2 inch plywood. And I said, well, let me stack them. Let me put put them together, and you know, this is at least shorter, maybe you can see, than this, which is shorter than this, which is shorter than this. Maybe this will work. So I gave that a try. Got my little stacks, my little pieces of wood, about halfway down, and just hoping that they don't slide, and I can do it. At this point, it's sort of like, I still almost don't believe I can do it. But, you know, if this is all you're using, chances are it's all in your mind at this point. Just need to take off the training wheels. I couldn't do it. I said I gotta do it with the little ones first. So I moved it just these single little blocks, and see, can I still do it? Oh, barely. I got through. I've actually shot this video twice, and my shoulders are starting to get pretty tired. But at that point, you know, the only thing left was to try it without the wood. So eventually, I said, let's give it a try. And this is at the end of, like I said, about 2 weeks of practicing, maybe 3 or 4 jump throughs a day, and calling it a day because it hurt my shoulder too much. It's like, can I do it with no assistance? I can. I did. And you can too. Just find some way to work your way down. I did see some videos that said you need to develop your core muscles to be able to like really push your arms down and really bring your abs in, and all of that is probably true, but in the course of moving to something smaller and smaller, you sort of naturally feel, because you'll try it and fail a few times, that you need to, I don't know how to put it into words, you need to try harder. It's much harder, obviously, with nothing than with having the big blocks, but hey, you know, for 30 years, I put this off for 30 years, and now I can do the jump through. Yay. You can too. Give it a try.